חזרנו. מאיר הוא חבדניק שגדל בברוקלין, בניו יורק, והחליט שהוא רואה בחייו שליחות של הפצת אהבה וטוב לאחרים. הוא הפך להיות כוכב רשת בינלאומי, הוא גם צלם ושחקן. בואו נראה קטע. Mayor is joining us now. Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Shalom, shalom. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
So thank you for this interview. I have to ask you, at what point did you realize that you want to film these inspirational videos?
You know, from a very young age, I always loved filmmaking and acting and performing. But as I grew up, I also learned that I also enjoyed spreading smiles and positivity. And I grew up in a home that was open and welcomed guests. And so I wanted to fuse these two passions together of making people happy as well as creating content and filmmaking together. And when YouTube came about, I started creating content online, and one thing led to the next, and it went viral, and the rest is history.
Amazing. And I have to ask you, what are people's reactions to your Orthodox look? I mean, I'm sure some of them are mixing your beardy look and maybe think you're some kind of a hippie when you meet them on the street.
Yeah, a little hipster and Hasidic vibes. In Brooklyn, it's not so uncommon. But you know what? I feel like the world is getting a lot more accepting to people's looks and how they are, and looking a little bit deeper, I feel like there's a consciousness shift taking place in the world in general, and it's really more about less how we look, but how we act. And if we're in a positive manner, I think people pick up on that kind of energy.
Yeah, and how much is Chabad influencing what you're doing today?
It runs deep in my blood, in my veins. The Chabad mentality of going out and spreading kindness, and honestly, on a deeper level, is to really welcome people as they are, who they are, and accept them as they are. And it comes from the teachings of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, a mentor of mine, where no matter being that he was an Orthodox rabbi, he yet agreed and loved and welcomed every single person, Jewish or non-Jewish, religious or not. It didn't make a difference. He saw their essence, their soul, and met them at that level. And that's what I try to emulate in my work, in my day-to-day practice, whether the camera is on or off.
And are you dealing with Judaism in any sort of way on your videos?
You know, it's hard to separate the two. It's definitely what I was brought up in. I went to yeshiva growing up, and now as an adult, I love to study all types of books and backgrounds and try to pull whatever inspires me and share that through my videos. So yes, there's definitely a deep level of Judaism and its teachings and wisdom that comes through my videos just because that's who I am and it's part of who I am.
Wow, and you've also established an amazing organization who literally throw Super Bowl parties to homeless people. Let's take a look.
We're set up, it's all good. There's still one more thing I gotta do. Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? Doing well, great. How you doing? What's going on? Doing good, man. Trying to stay warm?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's freezing out here, man. I'm trying to stay warm, man.
Yeah. You watching the game tonight? Were you guys watching the game?
We're not.
I was wondering if you wanted to join me for a Super Bowl party. A Super Bowl party, you want to
Really?
join? Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Like, how do you guys stay positive the whole time? I mean,
I don't give up. I gotta keep my head above water, keep it moving. You know what I mean? It's plenty of windows of opportunity out there.
That's so inspiring. How did you came up with that idea?
You know, I'm always a sponge and always thinking of new ideas of what I could do to bring a little bit more light to this world. And it was around the Super Bowl time. It was 2 weeks before. And personally, I'm not much of a football fan myself. I like watching the game just for the communal aspect of it, you know, community and friends. And I just thought, wow, this is like a non-official holiday in the US, people getting together with family and friends. You know, I'm sure people who don't have that family and friends, they may feel even more lonely. So I decided to create community and just go on the streets of New York City, bring people together. And it really was just this one idea for 1 year. But the following year, people reached out to me throughout the country and they said, hey, how do I get involved on your Super Bowl party for the people who are experiencing homelessness? I was like, oh my gosh, this is something much bigger than myself. So I filed for a nonprofit organization. And for the past 5 years, we've been hosting these Super Bowl parties, what I like to call them as Super Soul parties throughout the state. And this past year, we had 35 cities that hosted parties.
I think it's not just the opportunity of giving them the party or watching the Super Bowl. It's also the fact that you're bringing to the people a bit of what they're saying, noticing them, talking to them, giving them the opportunity, you know, to express what they have to say.
100%. You're absolutely correct. The first time what really got me involved with the homeless population was I did see a sign that was held by a man that said, I don't want food, I don't want drink, all I want is to be seen. And I know what it's like to be in a room filled with people and not to feel seen, so even more so. And that really touched home, and we all want to be seen and heard. And so that really I sat down with this man, got to know his story, his name. And from then on, it made me a little bit more aware of the people and surroundings around me, and hence led me to the Super Soul party that we have today. And it's quite incredible.
It is incredible. And we were speaking about Chabad. And not only you're a Chabadnik, you were also in a shlichut, right? By Chabad.
Yeah, well, in this day and age, I would say it's my own way of my shlichut is to spread positivity and meaningful content through the internet and through my day-to-day practice. I was on shlichut throughout the world growing up through my teens and 20s. Today, I find myself shlichut is it can be in the traditional sense of building a community in a foreign country or somewhere local. But every single day, we as people, whether you're Chabad or not, can show up as a shliach. You're an emissary for what? What do you stand for? What's your purpose in this life? These are questions one could ask himself, whether they grew up Chabad or not. And the way I answer that question is that my name is מאיר. It means, as you know, to illuminate, to light up. And my mission is to light up this world, to light up my world and the people around me. And I do that by tapping into my soul, meets people on their soul level, no matter if they're religious or not, Jewish or not. If my life and my ways cross paths with you, it means we're here for a reason, maybe for a minute, maybe for a year, maybe longer. But I'm here to leave a positive message and to uplift that person as best as I can.
Wow, what an amazing message. And you're also dealing a bit with anti-Semitism and Israeli content, because throughout, during Operation Guardian of the Walls, you've decided you're not going to stand aside and you're going to start to combat anti-Semitism. Let's see the video.
I'm gonna hug you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, please. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. I need to hold myself not to cry on air, but can you tell us what you wrote on that sign?
Wow. I mean, yeah. I mean, that was, as you mentioned, a very difficult time in the world, especially what was going on in Israel. And a lot of Jews outside of Israel were being attacked just because they were Jewish, no other reason. And I stood in those places where people were getting attacked. And, just said, my name is מאיר. I'm a Jew. I stand for peace. How about you? And welcome people to give me a hug if they stood for peace as well. There was a lot of media going around saying what Jews stood for and what we thought and believed. And I wanted to pick up the pen and take back our power and say, no, this is what we stand for. And we stand for peace, stand for community. We stand for connection and love. And just because we look differently doesn't mean that we don't want the same things. We're all on a human level. So I think people got confused about that. And when I stood up there, it was also a very difficult time. People were disconnected from each other. So giving people the opportunity to connect, and not just connect, but connect around peace, and to connect the way that I was dressed and looked, I think was quite powerful and resonated with many, many people.
Wow. And how do you feel with everything that's going on social media, all the biased contents towards Israel? You know, when we're talking number-wise, we're such a tiny country, and there's so much to do online to combat anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli activities.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and it's it's the world we live in. We live in a dark world, and that's where we got to go and be lamplighter's and light up the world. And when I do see that, I try to dig deep and think about how much compassion I can have for this person, how much knowledge they do not know about what's really going on. And the way I like to combat these things is not with more hate, more like proving themselves and going to just arguments about, just go around in circles, but rather I just rather show it through action and show through a positive way. Like this video that you just showed was that it wasn't a way of defending anything in particular, but rather, hey, this is who we are. This is what I stand for.
You're trying to spread love and to show some love. And you've also written a children's book, right?
A kid's book about optimism. Yeah. Starting at a young age to instill those ideas about optimism. Like you said, the world can be sometimes a dark place, a challenging place. So if we could give our kids the tools to be able to stay grounded and to look at life in a more optimistic way, I believe that that's something to celebrate and to instill.
Yeah, 100%. And before we finish the interview, I have to see just another more video of yours. Let's have a look.
Guys, you guys are incredible fam jam, and I love those ponytails, and that's in a really beautiful hat.
So pretty. You're both so pretty.
Wow, that's a really cool hairdo. And those are some cool nose rings as well. Now laugh, wow, that's awesome. Wow, dude, you're so cool. You got some really cool vibes. That's a really cool Super Mario t-shirt. Yeah.
So much style. The girls are gonna love it.
Oh my God, and the guys.
You see this
That's an incredible smile. You got an incredible smile. It's getting bigger and bigger. I didn't know this smile could get any bigger. Wow, you're an incredible human being.
Looking great, man. Thumbs up, brother.
You're shining.
It looks like you don't care what anybody thinks about you, and I respect that.
I do, you're right.
Sounds random. You have like really clean nails. You have like the cleanest nails I've ever
You're the second girl that said that to me.
Oh my God, that's such a brilliant idea. What a genius idea.
Oh, it's a fun one. Yeah, 100%. I try to every day give at least 3 compliments to people. It's so easy to do and to uplift someone's day. Yeah, it was just a brilliant idea to set up this chair, this compliment chair, and let people sit down and style them with tons of compliments. And I believe they carried on. It made their day, as you can see, and usually they carry that on to the rest of the day and perhaps spread it to somebody else.
When are you bringing the compliment chair to Israel? We also want to experience that.
Yalla, let's do it. Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, we'll do a whole Israel tour with it. I'm down.
Any message to Israelis who are watching us now?
100%. I would just say right now, labels are for shirts, not for people. So I know that's, perhaps amongst ourselves as Am Yisrael, to separate the two things, recognize each other on a soul level, step out of our comfort zones, have a conversation. It usually happens when we leave Israel, we leave our comfort zone, but let's bring it back into the bus stops, into the bus stations, and wherever we could meet somebody else outside our community and just say, hi, how are you? Be interested and curious. And I think this will make us even more stronger together.
Without a doubt. So Meir K, we're so fortunate to have you here and continue with all your great work. Thank you. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you.